Hello, hello, hello everyone, my name is Focus or just Focus. I'm here today to show you the Mega Man Xtreme titles with the Xtreme 1 and 2 100% Extreme Mode Relay. So those of you who are not familiar with this series, it is a spin-off series in the Mega Man X universe for the Game Boy Color. 2 games that take place in between main Series X games, and they are fantastic. It is really criminally overlooked. Both of these came out on the Game Boy Color, official Capcom titles around the early 2000s, and they have all the hallmarks of your main Series X titles. They have fast movement, they have clever routing, they have boss strategies. It's all there and all really strong, and I think it's really impressive that a game like this exists in an 8-bit form, which, you know, is weaker than the first X title was released on 16-bit SNES. So it's a really impressive title to me, and I just love both games a lot. I think they're undershown, and I really want to, you know, use these sorts of relays and events to show off more of this game and get it a bigger audience that it deserves. Just some basics of how I'm playing this. I'm actually using real hardware with real cartridges from Japan. So I have a Game Boy interface installed on my GameCube, and that allows me to remap some of the buttons. So I've remapped the start button to R and the select button to L. This is also an official remapping that's done on the Game Boy player, so it is allowed. Not to mention, it also makes the game look and play a lot better. Less input lag, and it looks a lot nicer. So Game Boy interface is the way to go, if you can. I'm also using actual Game Boy Advances to play. I'm using the original for Xtreme 1 and the SP for Xtreme 2. This is just because of the way I map the buttons. I don't really need the shoulder buttons in Xtreme 2 to do that purpose, whereas I really do need them in Xtreme 1. But before we begin, one little thing I want to get into is the selections, the options that we have in Xtreme 1 and 2. So there is a built-in auto-fire and auto-charge mode in Xtreme 1 and 2. I have both of them set to be on in Xtreme 1, but I only have auto-fire on in Xtreme 2. We'll talk more about why this is, because there are differences between the games that make them really unique to play into themselves, and so it's worth showing both, because they do play and feel very different. So without further ado, let us begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So Xtreme 1, this takes place in between X2 and X3, and yet here we are in X1, with the dash button, huh? This isn't normal, this isn't normally what we get, but basically, the plot in Xtreme 1's nothing to write home about, unlike Xtreme 2. Bad people have hacked the mainframe. They're making you replay through your memories. Destroy them. That's it. It's totally not Sigma, we promise. That's quite literally it. Like, I don't have anything else to write home about the Xtreme 1 plot. And so, that's the excuse for why we fight older Mavericks in this game. It's a bit of a better excuse, a better plot-developed excuse in Xtreme 2. But yeah, so all the Mavericks in the Xtreme games come from the SNES titles. There are 4 from X1 here, and 4 from X2. We also have the dash button, as mentioned, so there is a dash button. In Xtreme 1, it's start. In Xtreme 2, it doesn't exist, so you don't have to worry about not dashing. There is a different form of dash input in that game, which uses double tapping or down A. We'll get into that with Xtreme 2, because it's more prominent there. But that is why I remap start to R, so I can have a normal dash button. With that in mind, we are getting into the Extreme mode. So Extreme mode is unlocked after you defeat both hard and normal mode in Xtreme 1, and it basically combines all 8 Mavericks in the game into one mode. It's the more fuller experience, in my opinion. 100% in this category involves getting all 8 heart tanks, all 8 armor capsules, and all 8, sorry, not 8, all 4 sub-tanks. In Xtreme 2, actually, there's only 2 sub-tanks. Sub-tanks are useful because they allow you to regain energy at certain points. If you have full health and you pick up a health upgrade, it'll be stored in your sub-tank instead, and you can use it for later. The heart tank, on the other hand, is just a health upgrade. Unfortunately, we didn't get the fast cycle there, so let me just try that again. The heart tank is up there on the thing, so let me see if I can get this. There we go. Heart tank increases your maximum health, and so there are 8 of those. You'll know if you have full health by the end of the game if the bar basically touches the helmet icon at the bottom. So normally here you're supposed to use the boots to get past this section. Nice one up, there you go, cool. You're supposed to use the boots to get past that section, but we can actually use a well-timed dash jump there to aim for the corner of that and skip on right through. Meaning we don't have to use the normally required or suggested weapon there to unlock something. And this is a pattern throughout the Xtreme games. There's a lot of nice sequence breaking like that. Which means there are no revisits. Even though 100% sometimes requires revisits, there are none in Xtreme 1 or 2, which is pretty cool. And so here we are, we now have Storm Eagle, our first boss, and it's time to talk about damage mechanics. So, Extreme 1 has 1 point of damage for your base shot, and even the first stage charge shot. So when X is blue, like that, if you shoot there, it's only 1 point of damage. Fully charged shot is 2. So you want to use fully charged shots for enemies where possible. Obviously, there are some enemies that don't have invincibility frames, you can just sort of use rapid fire on, but it's really important that you know what enemies you're facing and how to best attack them. Unfortunately, all bosses have 32 hits of damage, 32 hit points, which means it can take a little bit of time to get through them. In Extreme 1, this isn't the case in Extreme 2, bosses are a lot quicker, but it means weapon play comes in a lot handier in Extreme 1 than Extreme 2, because the weaknesses do matter more. Next up we have Flamestag, who is weak to Storm Tornado, the weapon we just got. And you might think we do weakness order in Extreme 1, that seems sensible. Nah. We actually do, we actually don't fully do weakness order, we do semi-fully weakness order. So, also that's a nice little bit of thing to talk about. If you tap A at the right rhythm, you're going to stick back onto the wall but immediately wall jump. So knowing, it's not mashing quite, but knowing how to like time your A presses and sort of semi-mash is vital to climbing up walls really fast. But as I was mentioning earlier, we don't fully go in weapon weakness order because of something we're going to get in the next stage. This is the half damage capsule. This is also really useful to get at this point so that we can be a little bit more reckless with our movement and stuff. So I'm gonna go down here. I think I'm gonna get the funny graphical glitch where the ship that was at the end spawns in here. Nah, that's okay. Nice movement there. I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna menu to get Storm Tornado active. In Extreme 1, you can actually use the diagonals to menu. You can't do that in Extreme 2, so I just press down and right at the same time, and it gets me right to a Storm Tornado. So here is Flamestag, and Flamestag has 3 patterns. He can jump immediately, dash and then jump, or stay in place. So if he stays in place, you can just shoot him immediately. If he immediately jumps, you want to jump up high and shoot ahead. If he dashes and then jumps, you want to wait a little bit before shooting. Otherwise, you want to actually get him weak. And there you go. That is Flamestag. Very clean stage there. This should gold. Nice. It's probably one of the easier fights and the more fun fights to fight. In Extreme 1, I would say. Flamestag. Just a really nice, clean boss. And then we get Rapid Burner, or Flame Burner. Speed Burner, actually, is the English name, sorry. So this is the break in the weapon weakness order. This point here, we do not have the weakness for Magnus Centipede, which is Silk Shot. So we're not going into here to defeat it in weapon weakness order. We're actually getting something else at this point in the run. I wanted to avoid that. That's okay, though. So if I avoided that, I wouldn't have to wait for this cycle to finish. At this point, you're supposed to use Charged Speedrunner to climb up onto this, but I can just really precisely jump and hit like the corner of that thing and jump up on. It's a little bit hard to get sometimes. It can be very finicky, but if you use your visual cues well enough and time it right, then you should be fine. Similarly here, to get the sub-tank. And I'm going to switch over to Speedrunner, because Speedburner is super useful against most mini-bosses in Extreme 1. I don't know why in particular, but it just does a lot of damage, and you can spam it fairly consistently. You don't want to spam it too much, or else you're going to waste ammo. And just like that, that mini-boss is done. We're going to see it again in this next part here. There's a cursor that's going to fly around the screen. We don't want to get caught by it at all. If ideal, we don't want to get caught by it. I want to get up here into the capsule area. Ooh, that was a little bit weird. So this is Zero Final. This is one of 4 Zero techniques, and the only one that matters. So Zero techniques in this game are selectable attacks that Zero will come up and help you. Zero Final is the 4th one, and so you can select it on the boss menu to do 10 points worth of damage in one move, which is quite a lot, and so it is used quite a lot. Notice that I did not get caught by the cursor there, and so we're going to have no problem here. Only one fade in. The amount of times you get caught is proportional to the amount of times that this dude will just, like, go through different colors, even though it doesn't change the boss at all. So it just wastes more time if you get caught, because there's an animation if you get caught, and another animation here. It stacks. And so we're almost at the end of Magnus Centipede. So first things first, again, I'm going to immediately use Zero Final. It is a selection on a menu, and it's not the most convenient selection. It's one of the bottom options, and then you go to a different menu where you select the fourth option, which is down right. So I have to go like down and like that. That's 10 points of damage immediately, though. So I can switch back to this. And I want to just use regular charge shots, because that's the most effective weapon I have against Magnus Centipede. Dang it. So, Magnus Centipede can do a few different things. This thing is okay as long as you can still attack it. This is the one you want to be careful for. I want to make sure that I do escape from there, otherwise I will lose my charge shot. And remember, the charge shot actually gives you double damage. Or it does, like, double the damage of a normal shot. So it's really bad if you lose that. But there we go. That wasn't a bad Magnus Centipede, honestly. And so there we go. Now we finally get to play the stage that most people would think to go. Which is, Chopenguin, or Icy Penguigo, which is my favorite Japanese name. Such a good name. Icy Penguigo. So here, there's a nice little thing I can do with dashing. Look at that. Really smooth use of a small pixel there to just jump across like that. This gives you the boots, which you might think, you know, would give you the dash, but obviously not. So what do the boots do in this game? They give you a permanent dash wall jump. So if you've played the SNES games, you'll be well aware that there are two ways of jumping across a wall. If you have the dash button, you can hold dash on a wall and like go further out than you normally could. If you don't, you just do like a really small jump off the wall. This gives you permanently the one that goes wide, which isn't necessarily a good thing, I would argue. Because, for instance, the Magnus Centipede strats really rely upon not going too far out when you dash jump off a wall, or when you jump off a wall, rather. And so having that permanently is a little bit weird sometimes, but it works still. It's just that I prefer doing it after I do Magnus Centipede. So we're going to go down to here, use Zero Final, and I'm going to try to keep Chopenguin in the center of the stage. The reason why might seem weird, but there's this attack that he can do like this, where if he's at the end of a thing, like there, it's hard to attack him. But that was not bad. Cypher Kujacker, let's go. That's really good. And there you go. That's Chopenguin. Nice gold there as well. Don't know if it's an actual gold though, because these are my splits only for the relay. Up next is Spark Mandrel, and so many of you are probably familiar with Spark Mandrel as being a very easy boss to fight in X1. Not such the case in Extreme 2. They actually kind of fixed that that sort of deadlock you can put him in. This is also the last stage we're going to see Rapid Fire used in Extreme 1, because this is where we get the arm parts. The arm parts allow you to charge, not only have an extra level of charge for your main shot, but it also gives you the ability to charge special weapons. Only if you do not have Rapid Fire on. Because if you have both, if you have Rapid Fire on, it will just use the normal special weapon. Which is a little bit weird, but... But we actually want we want the charge weapons for more than just power, because while they do give 4 power, like 4 damage on enemies that are weak to them, like certain bosses, the main reason I actually want charge special weapons is for their other uses, their other applications. So, we're going to try to just get through here. Aw, I like not getting hit there, but sometimes you can get hit at the very beginning and it sucks. Gonna wait here a little bit so that this enemy shoots one of the things and then doesn't shoot that other one as far. I can go up here. You can see the dash jump, I mean, like the wall jump. It is immediately that every time. There's a nice little bit of movement there, and we're gonna be careful here because if you go too early here... Okay, I'm good. So you can actually get into the capsule immediately. Like, immediately as you, like, before the text starts. And if you accidentally go through the text too quickly, what happens is, okay, I was making sure, because I thought I flashed the wrong settings for a bit. If you do that, you actually overwrite the game giving you the arm part, which means that we technically soft lock ourselves out of the category. So I was being very careful there for a particular reason. However, it is faster if you notice that you get it and then wait onto the left side. So, I mean, just be careful with it is my statement. Here we go. Let's see if we get fast, we do not. That's unfortunate. So, fast Mandrel would be if you get him in that setup, and then he charges towards you, it actually freezes him with the same charged shotgun ice. And that does save time. However, if you miss that, it's like a 5-10 second time loss. It's not that bad, though. And you get Electric Spark. Speaking of Electric Spark, Armored Armadillo, Armored Armadillo is weak to Electric Spark, so essentially we do weakness order, kind of, from the next point on. But the last 3 Mavericks you can actually do in pretty much any order you'd like. I made the change to do Armored Armadillo 6th because there is a specific weapon we get in Armored Armadillo which is broken in this game. Like, absolutely broken. But we're going to see that at the very end once we get to the 7th stage. Get these bats down here, damage boost off them. Destroy them, get hit here, but not at the front. If you get hit at the front, that's going to kill you. And just make sure you don't get hit the spikes or anything as you get through there, and there you go. Pretty neat stage. This is actually one of my favorite stages in the Extreme games. It's really fun to play through this fast. Shoot through here, and it hits both those enemies. And now we have another one of those drill crushers, but we're going to make sure to hit, again, the back so that we don't instantly die. Get the heart tank, wait here, and platform through. Fastest way, instead of trying to destroy it, is just to go through like that. And that's essentially the end of Armored Armadillo. Really fast-paced stage, a lot of cool routing that we do just to, like, overcome basic things. Up here is not the Hadouken, this is just another zero technique. The other zero techniques, to put it bluntly, are useless. They have no point because they give 1 or 2 damage, and that's it. So you do a funny big animation to do 1 point of damage, the same amount you do if you use your Base Buster. I really don't know why that was a selection they made in the game, but it's a thing. Alright, so you want to shoot twice or 3 times to ensure that you actually lose the armor immediately. And I'm going to wait here, see what he does. Okay. Just making sure that he's not invincible, because if he is invincible and you use something like Zero Final, you'll just waste it. And there you go. That wasn't the worst, but Armored Armadillo can be a little bit finicky to fight at times. Mainly because the patterns are a little bit funky. And we get Rolling Shield. This weapon is broken. To put it lightly, this weapon is broken. This weapon, it does not work. It doesn't work. Well, it does. It just works in ways you wouldn't expect. So I'm gonna just keep my main buster for now. And before I get up to here, you normally are supposed to. This is from X2. You're normally supposed to use a weapon that you don't get in this game. Gonna go into the capsule, and then I'm gonna menu immediately to get Rolling Shield once I'm out. And then I'm gonna hold the charge button, hold the shoot button, the shoot button, B. So I'm charging up a shot of this, and there you go. Spikes are no more. Rolling Shield is absolutely broken in that aspect, because it basically makes us invincible in a lot of ways, because the spikes actually don't even, like, unlike actual enemies, where if you use Rolling Shield on them, it might disappear, spikes will never do that. And so normally here you're supposed to use charged Speedburner. Nah. Rolling Shield is just more effective and more fun. So yeah, there is a boss, a special boss that comes up to our left. We actually don't want to defeat it, because we just have to fight it again at the end game, and so there's no point to going that path. Funny thing about the game itself, though, about Extreme, specifically Extreme 1, although this does exist to a certain extent in Extreme 2, is that if you are going too fast, you can actually despawn certain things. So normally there's a giant green enemy that spawns and blocks the door. It's not here for us, because we just went way too fast. And I love that. And here comes the worst boss in the game, unfortunately. What Wheelgator is bad. I hope this hits. Okay, it does. Because there are certain things where Wheel Gator is weak, and other places where Wheel Gator is not. So this move, he's weak. This move, he is invincible. And then he does this middle place thing, which again, this is all just random to an extent. He does that middle thing, and then you have no way of attacking him. And then he is going to do that again, and I just need one more shot, because every weakness, again, is 3 points of damage, and so there we go. It's not the most fun boss in the game, especially because it's so dependent upon what patterns you get and how that turns out. And we have, last but not least, is Morph Moth, which, Morph Moth is a pretty self-explanatory stage all the way through, so at this point, after all that explanation, this would be a good time for donations, I would think. Because there's not much really to talk about. We get pretty much the same things you get in everything, and Morph Moth's stage is pretty simple as things go. So this would be a good time for like 30 seconds worth of donations. Yeah, how's everyone enjoying the run so far? This is another useless zero capsule. It's here! You can do a move that's worth 2 damage. Use it like that. And alright, at this point I would start commentary back up. So we're going to switch to Storm Tornado, and there is this mini-boss here. Very familiar for those of you who have played it. We can actually move immediately at this boss, and this is how we go. 1, 2. Like that. This boss is also weird because it's the only mini-boss that allows you to immediately leave the room as soon as it's done. I don't know if they just improperly programmed it, or if that was the intent, or what. It's just a little bit weird. Go down through here. And we're going to use Storm Tornado to try to get rid of enemies in the lower parts of this map. As I just go through like this. Let that one jump so I don't get caught on it. If you get caught, it essentially prevents you from... It makes you jump around a lot and also prevents you from actually climbing down ladders. We got this boss again. So, wonder what we're going to do. Oh, I actually messed it up. There we go. And here we go. This is the enemy that we despawned in Wheel Gator's stage. That giant thing right there. We despawned it, just because we went fast. I'm going to switch to Rolling Shield, which this boss is weak to. Morph Moth actually has 2 weaknesses. Morph Moth is weak to both Rolling Shield and Speedburner. And this is very authentic to the SNES boss. Because that one also has 2 weaknesses, depending upon which phase you're fighting. Although both phases are weak to the same weaknesses in this game. I was trying to make sure that he wasn't invincible before I used Zero Final, and there we go. Alright. And so that's the main 8 Mavericks of Extreme 1, and we're going to have the Sigma stages now. Which is basically the endgame of X1. Again, a lot of... Extreme 1 feels a lot less original than Extreme 2 does, but they're still fun to be had with Extreme 1, I find. And in fact, one of the most original parts of Extreme 1 is coming up right ahead, so the 2 people that were hacking the computer, Zane and Gamil, which are the best name for any human beings or robots in the entire universe. I love it. So we first fight Zane. Zane has a giant sword in his yellow, and he's weak to Shotgun Ice. So I'm going to use Uncharged Shotgun Ice thrice to begin with, because I can't charge in time to attack. Gonna go under, shoot, under, shoot, under, shoot, and then charge up here. Go under like that. Unfortunately, I couldn't get everything done there, but that's okay. And there we go. That's Zane done. Pretty smooth fight there. So you just use Charged Shotgun Ice where possible. Now go to Speedburner, and we're going to fight his buddy Gamil. Jamel? I forget. It's G-E-M-E-L. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but I always pronounce it Gamil because it's funny. So Gamil has like 2 patterns at the very start. He'll shoot either up or down. So if he shoots up, you need to wall jump. But I just wall jump anyways, because it gives you the perfect timing for weaknesses. Once he uses his magic carpet ride, you want to make sure that he is standing in the right spot. Ooh. So I need to make sure I'm timing this right, otherwise he can hit me. There we go. So that's a nice lockout you can get, but sometimes he comes at you too fast, and then, you know, you waste everything. A little bit low on health, so let's see how we do here. Gonna charge a rapid burner, or rapid fire, speed burner. Might need to recharge, replenish. Let's see what drops we get, though. Not any good ones. So I'm gonna switch and be a little bit safe by using rapid, or by using rolling shield here. So I'm gonna charge rolling shield, and this is how useful this weapon is. It's gonna be really safe here. Try to get as much health as I can. Okay, that's decent enough. That's just me being safe, rather than, like, trying to, like, be slow. So I'm gonna switch to Magnet Mine, and so this boss is probably my least favorite in the game. This is Bow Spider. It takes 4 charge shots, 2 uncharged shots, and 1 0 final. So that's 1 charged. It can sometimes do this, where it releases spiders. And it can take you a lot of damage. That's 2 shots, 2 charged. Oh, it's going to do that again, isn't it? Where's it going? Okay. That's 3. I need 1 more. Okay, and so now I can use 2 uncharged Magnet Mine here. 1, and then 1 more, and then 0 final, and we're done. Okay, should be good. Let's see... There we go. Nicely done. You only have 6! That's not a spider! It's not a spider! It's not a spider! What do you mean? Anyhow, this is my favorite Sigma stage. This is actually based off X2, I think. Yeah, this one's based off X2. So change to Rolling Shield immediately. So Rolling Shield here is our friend. Rolling Shield is our big friend. So normally there are these sections with a bunch of spikes and a bunch of platforming using these platforms. Step on them, they change direction. They're not fun. So instead of doing any of that, I'm just gonna jump at the right times. And I can skip all this. Normally you're supposed to bring the platform up to access the last remaining capsule. Ooh, special capsule. But because we have charged Rolling Shield, that is completely negated. Oh, I almost didn't release that in time and almost died. That's okay, though. So yeah, it makes this section almost trivial with how this is. It's so funny how amazing Rolling Shield charged is. Because it makes this, what was a really difficult section otherwise, a lot easier. And so yeah, there you go. That is the Hadouken and Shoryuken, by the way, but they have basically no use. They have some use in Extreme 1. Extreme 2, the usage is just not there for it. Both games have the secret capsule, so we do need to collect it to get 100%, but in Extreme 1, yeah, Extreme 1 has a use for it because we have Charge Shot on, but we don't even have Charge Shot on in Extreme 2. Just want to make sure I'm in line, and then use 0 final, there we go. And now just use Rolling Shield against it, against Surges here. Honestly, one of the worst bosses to bring back. I don't like this boy. The hackers in the computer mainframe choose better bosses to bring back. Yeah, it's been going pretty well. It's been going pretty well for you. I hope you're doing well yourself. Okay. So now all we have is the refights, really. These take a little while, though. So gonna make sure so now you can see I have a 3rd level of Charge Shot. In order to prevent myself from getting damaged here, I'm gonna shoot early. There you go. Yeah, that's nice. So normally they would attack you if you were within range, but And so this is, again, another good point, a really good point for donations. This is pretty much the same as the normal fights. So, gonna try for fast, Spark Mandrel here. I don't think I'm gonna get the fast one. Yeah, didn't think so. So can I get the backup? No. I just need one more charge, and I should be good. Okay, that was not the best, but honestly, this boss can be a little bit here and there. Next up, I do, because I also want to limit the amount of menuing I do Chill Penguin? Spark Penguin, ooh. Again, trying to keep him in the middle where possible. But I don't think I'm gonna get that. Yeah, because this just sucks. Just shoot. Especially if he does that. He's gonna do it again? Yeah, this is what I was saying when I wanted to keep it in the middle. Otherwise, this can take forever. Especially since we have limited health as well. Oh my god. Well, that wasn't great, but that's okay. Just go down now to get to Storm Eagle's weakness, which is Spin Wheel. If Storm Eagle stays in place, you can just launch a Spin Wheel above him and just keep it there to attack. Okay, now that he's doing this move, use Charge Spin Wheel. Otherwise, there's no guarantee it will hit. Okay, there we go. Now, to be a little bit safer on health, I would normally do at this point, I would normally do the one right above me, which is Armored Armadillo, but just to be safer on health, I'm going to fight the easiest boss, which is, where is it? Silk Shot here. It's Magnus Centipede. The weakness for Magnus Centipede makes it really trivially easy. Stand in the center here, and just jump and face the direction where he would shoot. Sometimes, though, for some reason, it does attack him, but doesn't do his animation, like the stun. But that's also good. As long as it attacks, it's fine. And that's a pretty simple boss. So now I'm going to go down and do Armored Armadillo like I was planning to. So I need to be very careful with my weapon energy here, because this is the weakness for Sigma, the first phase of Sigma. Use 2 or 3 immediately, and then time these really well. Make sure you're not wasting any ammo. I err on the side of missing a hit rather than trying to get a hit. Or like, I am on the side of caution here, rather than trying to chain the hits one after the other. Because it's really risky to lose like ammo like that. That was overall pretty good, though. Now I'm gonna go up to, or I'm gonna go down, sure. I'm gonna go up to, the worst one. Wheel Gator. Sorry, Wheel Gator. Love Gators, hate this one. Magnet Mine. Oh, immediately invulnerable. Great. Don't you love it when a boss is just immediately invulnerable? Before you even have a chance to get a first hit? Okay, so now we have him waiting in the center. He's gonna get up somewhere. Oh, he's invulnerable again. Wow. Sometimes you can wait on the ground and he'll pop up underneath you, but that has not been happening for me. Oh. Nice waste of a charge shot. Nope, that still didn't work. Wow. 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 What a bad boss. And he's also invulnerable here. I can't believe this. This is criminally bad. I'm out of my weakness, so... Okay, there we go. I used the Hadouken! Hooray, I used it, everyone. There are 2 more bosses to go. That was really bad, though. Use Rolling Shield here. Seriously, I've never had a Wheel Gator that bad. I mean, I've had Wheel Gators bad, but oh, heckin' heck. So now I'm gonna... Oh, I thought it was actually going to the next phase, but apparently not. Okay, Charge a Shot. Charge again. Okay, not bad. Yeah, we're gonna lose time here, though. Definitely. That's just unfortunate, but... Alright, so final one is, you know, we've already talked about Flamestag. Pretty simple fight. Yeah, but this is his central position actually does matter here. Unlike, you want him at the edges, actually, the exact opposite of Chill Penguin. You want him at the edges, because that means he has the furthest distance to go to jump. Which means this is the safest. There you go. Alright, so we're getting on to the final areas. I have Storm Tornado. I specifically do Flamestag at this point so I can use Storm Tornado throughout here without switching my weapon, technically. I'm pretty sure these enemies only drop weapon energy. No health. I've never gotten health from them. I'm going to switch to Electric Spark, and we're going to start off by using Zero Final. Even Sigma can't escape Zero Final's power. So, menu down. Use Zero Final, and I'm going to try to get Star Wars Boy here to lunge at me, if possible, instead of jumping. That's what we want to see. That's not necessarily what we want to see. I want to see this. More of the sortie. But I can just basically jump between walls, and it'll be fine. He's basically weak if I just jump between walls like this, somehow, at every point. Don't split here. Okay, I almost split there. I have a different set of splits here. So Wolf Sigma is the final boss, and we're going to switch down to Spin Wheel. This boss can be a little bit annoying at times, depending upon what patterns you get. But yeah, we're approaching the end of Extreme 1 here, everyone. So this is Wolf Sigma. You know, Sigma turns into a furry robot, because that's what basically all the things are right here. That's basically Mega Man X in a nutshell. I'm just gonna, yeah, just have the wheel like that and let it wheel at him until he's done. Really good pattern so far. There we go. Oh, that's only 16 seconds off PB. Impressive. And that's Extreme 1. Kind of switched games. That was pretty decent. So I'm going to turn on my SP immediately so that it connects. So I can immediately select stuff. And now I hold reset and swap the games. And here we go. Here's Mega Man Xtreme 2. Gonna just start things off pretty quickly. And we're gonna go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, so Extreme 2. Unlike Extreme 1, the Extreme mode does still have plot. It still has cutscenes. And it means that we do have to keep watching through them, and so there's some more time for donations in Extreme 2 than Extreme 1, I would argue. Extreme 2, it takes place between X3 and X4, hence why Iris is here. She normally wouldn't be here, if, you know, that didn't make any sense. So we have her around, and we basically found an island where the souls of Reploids are being sucked out of their bodies and used for something. So we've come to investigate. We find out there are two people, Berkana and Gareth, who are totally not related to Sigma. Why would they be? Pretty much just messing up the people on the island, and it's our job to save them. And to do so by defeating 8 Mavericks from the past, which they've reignited via souls. That's how, you know, they have some excuse, but this actually does have more plot. And it does give you the first and only villainess in the series. In the X series, at least. It's... The reason why it changed is basically because there is no dash button in Extreme 2. So there's no need for me... There is a better D-pad IMO on the SP for what the inputs are in Extreme 2 to dash. The inputs are all based on the D-pad. They're not based on any button or anything. So the reason why I switched is because I want a better D-pad. And I think the original Game Boy Advance D-pad is a little bit... What's the word? It's a little bit, like, soft. Too soft for what we need to do here, which is, as I'll explain here, pretty vital, actually. So we don't have a dash button in Xtreme 2. So instead of pressing R or start to dash, we have 3 ways of dashing. One of these ways is limited to 0 from the get-go, but you can unlock it as X, and the other 2 are available to both of them. You have double tap dashing, which is double tapping forward or backward. It allows you to dash jump afterwards, which is useful, but it does not, it means it's hard to spam. You can't really spam it really quickly or go across long straights of nothing while double tap dashing that fast. On the other hand, you have down A dashing, which is easy to spam, but it means you can't dash jump. And then you have air dashing, which is double tapping A. You get it as an upgrade for X, and Zero has it from the get-go. It is the easiest to do, but the lowest bang for your buck. Also, anyways, we're getting into Xtreme 2. We have some unique features to Xtreme 2. We actually can play as Zero, and we have the parts shop, like in the PSX games. So, I just bought Zero Saber +1. This makes Zero's saber, his base saber, faster, or more powerful than otherwise, and so we're going to equip it like that. And we have Zero here. So, Zero is just like he is in, like, X4 or X5. Very similar, like, very close combat range sort of stuff, but on the Game Boy Color. In fact, I would argue that Xtreme 2 is pretty much, at least for this category, is Zero's game. This is all about Zero. We've used X a lot in the previous title, now it's Zero's time to shine. He is very powerful. So, with this upgrade, this part that we buy, this means that his base, like, slash is 3 points of damage, and his jump slash is 4 points of damage. Which means bosses take 8 hits rather than 16. Bosses still have 32 hit points of damage, by the way, to defeat them. I'm gonna do something called elevator skip here. Let's see if I can get it. So to speed up going through this slow section. Yep, got it. That's nice. It saves a little bit of time if you get it without the elevator on screen. Since the elevator lags that place pretty significantly. And so yeah, Xtreme 2 is a lot more about Zero. You might also notice I mentioned earlier momentum jumps. They are much more useful here because, again, there's no dash button. So if you are able to jump, like, the frame right before you land, like I just did, like, 7 times there, you can maintain your dash speed, your dash jump momentum, without actually having to re-input a double tap or whatever. Which means it's super fast. It's used a lot in the TAS, not so reliable in the RTA run. But it's still present in case you want to optimize the slightest, smallest things. There are a few areas where I try to go for it, but again, it means you just jump normally if you fail. Anyways, here's Wire Sponge from X2. So this boss, much like the SNES counterpart, has a desperation attack mode. We're trying to avoid getting him into that by defeating him while he's in this pattern. If we do so, we will not, as we just did, we will not have his desperation attack occur, which means we save time because there's no point where he's not completely, you know, invincible. And that's the beginning of Xtreme 2. We're going to go back to the shop right now, and I'm going to buy this one, which is the Energy Saver. The Energy Saver means that whoever we equip it to, it's a shared part. Either could be X, could be Zero. We'll use half the weapon energy of a normal, like, weapon gauge-based attack. Most of Zero's stuff actually isn't, but there are some stuff that is. And so I need to, the most notable of which is the aforementioned and prior used in Xtreme 1, Zero Final, which becomes a armor capsule upgrade for Zero in this stage. And normally, as I mentioned in Xtreme 1, that would use more than half the weapon gauge, but with this part, it actually doesn't, which means we can use Zero Final twice rather than just once. That's a whole 20 points worth of damage on a boss, which means that a boss has just become 2 Zero Finals and 3 jump slashes. That's pretty much the strategy for every boss in this game. Ooh, let me see if I can get back. That was almost really close. The heart tank is up here. So I need to make sure I get this. We see more of the right armor in this game as well. It's pretty neat. It functions as you would expect, more or less. I'm going to first menu to get the Energy Saver, and then I'm going to use Lightning, which is the move we get from Wire Sponge, which we need to destroy those blocks in order to get Zero Final here. And Zero Final then becomes, much like it was in Extreme 1, but even more so in Extreme 2, becomes our bread and butter for combat. So that's the arm parts. Oh yeah, foot parts break blocks. Head parts break blocks. Apparently they just love to break blocks. I don't know why, but that's just what they do in Extreme 2, I guess. So you want to make sure you're attacking right before you hit these enemies so you don't get knocked back. So, like, telegraphing their... telegraphing. I guess that's the term, telegraphing their moves and trying to deter them that way. I'm going to switch to X here in a little bit, which, by the way, this is like the first X game to ever introduce a proper full-on swap between characters. It did exist in X3, you could argue that, but it really wasn't in this sort of style until X7. And it's an amazing mechanic. I can just hit a select and enemy, and then we switch between the two. It's pretty cool. Be very careful here. Also, I should mention, more than Extreme 1, Extreme 2 has a lot of flashing lights, so if you have problems with flashing lights, I do warn you from looking at Extreme 2. Because it is very flashy. They love to just put everything on the screen, to be honest. So here's a Tunnel Rhino. We're going to use Zero Final twice, as aforementioned, and then we're going to do 3 jump slashes. The jump slash is just more powerful than the ground slash, and also it can be inputted faster, so win-win situation, really. There we go. So now we're gonna get a bit more text coming up here. A little bit more plot with Berkana and Gareth going, I don't know what we're gonna do with these people. They just come onto our island where we were harvesting souls of, you know, real people, but, like, I don't know what you want me to do. It's just, there's the DNA souls. We need to use them. Come on, like, gosh. Man, it's really annoying when you get, like, caught by the X-authorities. But anyways, next stage is Volt Catfish. This is actually out of order. The bottom 4 are in Zero's mission, which is what you play as Zero. You go through 4 Mavericks and then defeat Gareth. The top 4 are from X's mission, and you then defeat Berkana as X. In Extreme mode, you can actually select both, or which one you want to face off in later in the run, which we'll get into, and why we choose a certain one over another. But yeah, we can do the Mavericks in pretty much any order. We don't have to do the Zero ones first and then the X ones. I choose to do this one now because this gives us the leg parts, the boots for X, which gives us the air dash for X, which makes X just as maneuverable as Zero, and it opens up a lot more. It's a lot harder, and in fact, one of the hardest things it was for me to get used to in Extreme 1 was the lack of an air dash for X. This one functions just like an X3. There's not only a left and right dash in the air, but also a up dash. So we're going to try to use every one of them. The up dash is particularly useful for some of the late game parts in Extreme 2. And it's useful here for some cycle skips. So, by the way, big flashing lights warning in this next part. So this is a bunch of water. Yep, it's going to have electricity in it soon enough, and it's going to flash bright yellow. Nice there. I got a momentum jump into the wall climb there. Very well done. That skips that cycle, so... I'm going to try for something really risky here. This is a bit hard, and I've only done this a few times. I have enough health for it. So there is a... these waves now are actually instant kill. Except if you get hit by something else before. So let's see what I can do. I wasn't where I was just flashing and couldn't see where I was. That's okay. I'm not going to do that again. So I was getting the heart tank there, and if I managed to stay on the, not on the wall, but get hit by the enemy repeatedly, if I stayed on the wall, I would actually have the wave kill me. If I managed to keep that on, I would have been able to save like 1 or 2 seconds. But, you win some, you lose some. At least now I can, like, immediately go down. There you go. So I already claimed that heart piece. Not heart piece, it's not a Zelda game. Heart tank, and so, yeah. Unfortunate, but I always try to go for that, because it's a nice little trick if you can get it. And here we go. This is Volt Catfish. Again, the same pattern of 2 Zero Finals and 3 jump slashes. The boss patterns themselves are not really that remarkable, although I think this one's not great. Yep, this one's not great. So, yeah, sometimes Volt Catfish can pull you to one corner of the room and do that, but fortunately with Zero we have a decent amount of health, so that doesn't really matter as much. And there we go. So one other thing that's different between the two games, for some reason, occasionally, those get weapon screens in Extreme 2 will go by faster than in Extreme 1. Like, Extreme 1, there's no way to speed them up, but for some reason, it might be due to a saved input or something with the final boss, the boss you attacked before, and how you defeat it. Sometimes the game will just speed up that text, which does save, like, 1 to 2 seconds every time it happens. The most I've ever had happen in one run is 6, which is quite a lot, because we don't understand how it fully works. I think it has something to do with doing an attack and then getting hit, possibly, but there's no real clear, theory as of yet. No real, like, this must be the reason why. Also, one move we got from Tunnel Rhino is this technique, Joe Crush. Joe Crush is done by pressing down and attacking a 0, and it allows you to defeat enemies in pretty quick time. Also, there's a nice little platforming section we could do to our left, or, thanks to the upgrade we just got in Volt Catfish, we can just use an up dash there and skip all of it, which is actually safer. Or not safer, but faster. I mean, it is also safer by extension because it means you don't go through anything. Okay, I'm gonna wait here for this green thing to go. And this is the armor upgrade for Zero. This reduces damage by half. And it's quite useful just to have it this early on in the game. Not to mention, I made this routing more or less. I put Blast Hornet 4th because not only do we get this thing here, but if you're doing like attempts for a PB or world record, it's really useful because this next mini-boss is just all RNG. So there are these 4 turrets on the sides of the walls. 2 of them will light up immediately. I got the bad luck. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. That is terrible luck. That is, yeah, that's god-awful. Wow, it really did not want to give me the luck I needed. Huh. Thanks, Blast Hornet. And so that's a good reset point. If it's this early on, it's only like, in Extreme 2, that's only like 12, 13 minutes. That's only a third of the way through the game. So it's easier to reset at this point than, you know, if this were done, which it was done before 8th, which would be like double the time, so. Anyways, jump immediately. You'll notice the Hornets on the bottom. You can just use Joe Crush to destroy them. Jump slash thrice. As soon as it's invincible, use Zero Final, and there you go. Zero Final is also tons easier to actually navigate, because it's right at the right of your menu, so you can just pause right A, and that's it. I'm really glad with that change. If it was still a sub-menu, that would suck. There you go, that's fast text. It happens. Just accept it. That's basically what fast text is. Let's go. Alright, so here. This is Overdrive Ostrich, and this is the only instance we see the ride bikes? No, what are they called? Ride Chaser, that's it. In the Extreme games. So the odd thing about it is you can attack with B, but if you attack with B, it means you can't cancel the attack. Which means it's worse, basically. Because if you attack and then are on a ledge and you have to jump, you can't jump, and therefore you die. So I always attack with up. It's a weird input, but up is the input to go. These are instant kill, these like yellow tornado things. But if you use the invincibility just right like that, you can go right through them. And that's a really nice time save. It's a little bit scary, though. And so right here, you want to make sure you hit that ladder. If you do not hit that ladder, there is no way to get back up unless you reset the, you reset your console and load up the latest save point. You may have noticed the screen has been, like, flashing. It was flashing to white with red text in Extreme 1, and it was flashing just bright white here. Those are save points, actually. So if I, like, for instance here, that's a save point. If I reset my console, or by resetting just from the Game Boy Color, that allows me to reload from that point. So it's actually really safe for marathons to run, like, Extreme 2 and stuff, because if anything goes wrong, you can reload that save, and you'll have, like, however many lives you had at that point, and with full health and all that. It's really good. There's the heart tank for this stage, just down there. Just don't hold anything and you'll be good. Here, just go down. Pretty smooth Overdrive Ostrich right now, I'd argue. You want to make sure for this, if you zero final, it goes in a straight line. So you want to make sure that you're actually on eye level with Overdrive Ostrich here. Otherwise, you risk losing everything. 1, 2, 3. And so I just need to wait for him to come back from the background. And there you go. Yeah, very slick. This should gold? Let's see. It's usually 7 seconds after the boss is over for the split. Yep, did. Nice. So up next we have Flame Mammoth, and for those of you who've played X1 in the audience here, you know, in the viewership here, this might sound a little odd. Yeah, maybe a little bit. So you might notice, if you played X1, that this is not Flame Mammoth's theme. In the Japanese release of Xtreme 2, they actually swapped the music for Flame Mammoth and Launch Octopus. Which I didn't notice until 2 years after I started running this game. I just thought, this is Flame Mammoth's theme, right? This fits. It does fit. For some reason, it fits. But when I heard it, I'm just like, oh god, it isn't. It just isn't. And they just swapped it. This is fixed in the international release, but it's also very funny. So this is the, I think... Oh yeah, this is the arm part. So the X normally here at this point would get... This means we can use charge shots, but we actually don't even use charge shots, because as mentioned before, we actually don't have auto charge on at all. Because A, 0 is a lot more effective for combat, and B, if we want quick movement as X... Oh, I want to switch to 0. That's my bad. If you want quick movement as X, or quick combat, we actually want to use Rapid Fire because the base damage tables in this game are a lot more powerful than in Xtreme 1. So X's base Buster does 2 damage in Xtreme 2, rather than the 1 it did in Xtreme 1. So it's just a lot more effective to have the base Buster, rather than trying to use charge shots. And so that's why we have Rapid Fire set only to be on. This is a good place to show momentum jumps. Like those. Yep. Good chaining with them as well right now. The lag here makes it easier to hit that frame, I feel. Alright, so with here, I want to be very careful. I want to be very careful here. I know X is on low health at the moment, so I'm going to use 2 0 final, 2 jump slashes, and then a single ground slash from 0. And there we go. I need to defeat this boss as X. Why, you may ask? Because otherwise I will not be able to unlock everything that's in this mode. There's a single capsule in the next stage that only can be broken with X's weapon here. And the character you defeat a boss as in Extreme mode is the character that gets their signature weapon. So, if I had Zero's signature weapon from Flame Mammoth, I could not get this capsule in Neon Tiger. That's why it's important to do that. And it's the one of 2 times where we finish a boss as X, even though it's technically faster to finish as 0. And so we get another sense of the Rhino armor here. Same mechanics as in Tunnel Rhino. Just make sure that you punch pretty early so that you can get through things. Hover up to here, punch. That's the heart piece. Heart tank. Gosh, I can't get it on my Zelda shtick. Okay, so here, there's some nice platforming available here. That's a little bit risky, but it works if it does. You know, if it do work, it do work. So I'm gonna switch over to Fire Wave. I forget the name of this. I mean, it is an iconic song in this game. It's really funny because it sounds like the Guns N' Roses song. I get up to here. Also, notice that if I swap while I'm close to the ceiling, the time is reduced. So if you can get to like the top of a ceiling and then swap, it saves time. If you must swap at all. I swapped to 0 here for the same reason I swapped to 0 in Flame Mammoth. Because we actually do want to finish this boss as X. Quickest way to start again is just to use Zero Final immediately. All the bosses, as far as I'm aware, are pretty much vulnerable to Zero Final, and they're within line of sight at the very start. So pause immediately, and then use Zero Final. Neon Tiger here can do 2 patterns. Neon Tiger can either stay on the wall. Let's see what he does. Good boy. That was an excellent Neon Tiger. So the other thing he could do is stay on the wall and like shoot from his tail, but you want him to jump down because that means you can jump slash easier. So that was pretty good stuff. Very nice. And a nice fast text to end with that. We now get Ray Claw, which is useful for this final Maverick of ours, Launch Octopus, to the theme of Flame Mammoth. And I mean, it fits, listen. I think it fits. The music just seems to fit to me. The most epic ocean you've ever experienced. Speaking of ocean, so there is some reduced momentum underwater, but the momentum jumps do not adhere to the physics of water. And so if you get a momentum jump underwater, it'll actually go as fast as you would go in the air. Let's see if I can get it. Not quite. So it is the fastest way to get through this area, is to use momentum jumps. But again, because they're a single frame, and it's annoying because it's dependent upon how long you fall and all a bunch of factors that are pretty difficult to control. It's not really used that often. Okay, wait up here, we need to defeat this mini-boss, or this little ship here. And I can just jump off the side like this. And as soon as it's done that, I actually just have free reign to go underwater. There's normally a platform of spikes there, but as soon as it's defeated, it's quite literally open. So you don't even need to wait to defeat the enemy. It's just done. Also, stand here. Let's see what drops we get. Not really good ones so far. Those ones are going to be big, aren't they? So this is important because we need to get certain parts from the shop, and the drops that we get, either health or weapon, are called souls. And we actually use DNA souls as currency because we're saving them, question mark? And we can convert them into parts to help us defeat things. I don't get why they're souls, but yep, that's the currency of the game, which is what we're trying to save, but whatever. And so we need to get 2,000 souls by a certain point later in the game. Otherwise, we cannot unlock certain parts, because certain parts unlock in the shop at a certain threshold of souls. So we need to get 2,000. So we need about 100 drops from luck, 100 souls worth. The single ones are worth 4, the double ones are worth 8, and the big ones, triads, are worth 12. Also, this is a good pattern for this mini-boss. There's some patterns this mini-boss can take, but you want the one where it stays on its head and does that. Pretty cool. Okay, let's see. Please? I don't know if I got any drops there, but we'll see. So, Launch Octopus actually isn't weak to Rayclaw, and in fact, we haven't used the weakness on any boss in this mode. Absolutely, you know, against what we've done in Extreme 1. But we have Rayclaw here, and we can make sashimi, so we will. It causes the boss to go into this state here, and then we can use Zero Final twice. And there you go. Makes the boss really easy, and so I always recommend doing that. It's also why we kill Neon Tiger as X. The equivalent mechanic for Zero does not actually do that. Nice fast text to end the main 8. That's the main 8 Mavericks done. And so we're once again on to the endgame stages. These are the Bracana and Gareth Fortress stages. Oh, it's already spoiled it. It's Sigma. What? Huh? I can't believe this. Oh my gosh. I need a refund, okay? I was not expecting Sigma in my Mega Man X game. So yeah, this is a nice little fun platforming section. And these are unique stages. These aren't based off of previous stages as far as I'm aware. The music is. The music's from X2, but this stage is completely unique in of itself, and that makes the endgame of Extreme 2 a lot more distinctive than the endgame of Extreme 1, where it's all pretty much lifted from, like, X1. Yeah, this is pretty unique. I keep a 0 here, just because I don't really need to use X. I tried the, dang it, I want to get that within one cycle, but you want to make sure you're moving fast up the walls in the same rhythm as I mentioned before. Drill Crush here, where possible. There we go. And now we're going to fight a dog. We're going to destroy a robot dog. Which, if you didn't think Sigma was involved from that big thing in the before, we have Sigma's dog. It's Pupper here, Velgarder. And so, again, 2-0 finals, but we're actually not going to use Jump Slashes. This boss is a lot easier to defeat with Drill Crush. And that should be it. There we go. Very clean Velgarder, honestly. You want to be careful with the very beginning platforms in this stage as well, because those beginning platforms, if you go too fast, will push you through the ceiling, and then you'll fall. Which sucks. Let me just see how many... Okay, I'm gonna have enough souls. I was just making sure. I don't need them for this section, fortunately. I need them for the next one. And so we're gonna have enough to get everything I need, which is good. We got lucky enough. Anyways, this is something called Platform Skip. Let's see if I can get it. So normally you're supposed to go on this platform. But if you do some nice invincibility manipulation there, you can skip all of that. Now we're going back to X. X here is our friend. Because he has the up dash, it makes some of this vertical platforming a lot smoother. So just going to wait for the screen to scroll. Unlike Extreme 1, I think the screen scrolling is slower in Extreme 2, which is kind of interesting. Because I'm pretty sure it's faster in Extreme 1, but not in Extreme 2. If you have to go with the flow of the screen. I think just the screen scrolling is too slow in Extreme 2, but I need to check that just to make sure. It's just a feeling, a gut feeling at this point. Anyways, this section, yeah, I don't know how you would really easily do this without the up dash, but the up dash makes it nice. I think it's possible without the up dash, but god, I don't want to do that. We're also saving 0 for the final boss of this area, which is probably the most infamous boss in the Extreme 2, Izez Zawilo, otherwise colloquially known as the Sphinx Tank. Pretty infamous one if you've played Extreme 2. A lot of people say they hate it. And it can be really annoying in the other categories. I do find it pretty simple in Extreme mode, 100%, because, well, all the upgrades we have. Oh, wow. Okay, thank you. So, this boss is composed of 2 parts, each that takes 16 points. Has a head on the top, head on the bottom. And so the goal of this is to not die. You want to be very careful here. And there you go. So 2-0 finals, you want to hit it in the middle area so that it hits both heads. And then at that point you can do Drill Crush down and destroy it like that. But you can see how much damage it takes. Like how much damage it deals. It's not a nice boss at all. So now I'm going to go back to the part shop. And I'm going to buy quite a few things. I'm going to buy Ultimate Buster here, which gives X a permanent charge shot. I'm going to buy both his X Buster upgrades and Zero Saber plus 2. The one we needed to get was Ultimate Buster. Ultimate Buster only unlocks if you have 2,000 or more souls. So that allows us to, it's essential, basically, for the final boss. At this point here, I'm going to go and I'm going to give 0 plus 2, and I'm going to switch to X. And here's X. I'm going to go ahead and equip both of these. Did I get all the heart pieces? This looks a little bit low in terms of health. But maybe I'm just missing something. I got all the heart pieces, right? Heart tanks? I'm trying to think if I missed one, did I? I think I may have just given more to 0, honestly. I will need to check back, actually. I am pretty sure I got all of them, though. It's just this looks a little bit low for what I normally give X. I normally give X more than this, I feel. This is Berkana's section. We specifically play Berkana's section instead of Zero's, because this has the secret capsule we were mentioning earlier, which means we need to get it for 100%. But also, Berkana is a much easier boss than Gareth. Gareth is pain. Gareth is not fun. So we've lost the ability to swap to a 0 because at this point in the story they both split and are defeating the different bosses. And so here is X, we just have to defeat Berkana. Be careful with this upward thing. Again, there's a section earlier that I was trying to mention, but I kind of forgot in my haste to see if I actually had everything I needed for 100%. Basically here, we get the Shoryuken Hadouken, and much like in Extreme 1, they're kind of useless, especially so because we don't have Charge Shot, and this requires a Charge Shot to actually use. And so here we're going to have the best boss in the game. Who hates the alphabet? We do. We don't like the alphabet here. This boss uses the alphabet against us, basically. So if you get attacked by her things that say A or B, that disables that specific button. So if you get attacked by A, you can't jump. If you get attacked by B, you can't shoot, and it causes another phase. So be very careful here. We want to get A, so A allows us to... Oh. A is the easiest to defeat. Or Spike Ball, whichever one. Spike Ball is also a very nice ladder of the alphabet. And there we go, that is Berkana, but we're not done yet. We have the boss rush and then Sigmas. We're nearing the end game though. Yeah, 2 more splits. And then we're done Extreme 1 plus Extreme 2. So Sigma's like, ha ha ha, it was me all along, who would have thought? Wow, no one expected that. That was really crazy, man. It's really out there. Sigma in a Mega Man X game, who would have thought? Oh, it's so funny. So yeah, at this point, we're going to probably switch parts a little bit for X. As soon as we use the weakness from earlier, or not the weakness, but the thing that allows us to make Calamari out of Launch Octopus, we're going to use a Rayclaw again, and that's pretty much going to be the last time we see X until the final boss. Because this boss rush, we're pretty much going to use Zero exclusively. So first things first, I'm going to switch to these two, and I'm going to switch to Rayclaw. Once I'm here, I'm going to immediately use Rayclaw. I'm going to switch back to this, and then swap to Zero. Yes, I do have enough, health. I did get all the health upgrades. Just making sure, because it looks a little bit low to me, but nope, I saw the balance between them. It's absolutely fine. So Zero here, Zero Final is actually not specifically useful, because we now have Zero Saber plus 2 and plus 1. They stack on top of each other, and so our Jump Slash is now 6 points of damage, which means it's quicker to just Jump Slash 7 times than it is to try to menu to get 10 points of damage. So the strategy here changes a fair bit. It's just not worth the extra animation for Zero Final anymore. So again, this is a good point for donations, I would argue. Because this is going pretty quick, but there's not really much to explain that we haven't already explained before. Okay, this is the one place where we might want to use Zero Final. Depending on what pattern Wire Sponge gives us. Okay, there we go. Didn't have to use it. Avoiding health upgrades where possible, just because we want to speed through this, of course. Ooh, this isn't great. So yeah, if he does that jump there, you're kind of just having to destroy him normally. Ah, wow. Yeah, not the best pattern. I mean, still livable, but you want this boy down and out pretty quickly. He's one of the more annoying ones. Just getting more health there just to be extra safe. And here we have Tunnel Rhino. I can actually jump over Tunnel Rhino if he attacks me immediately, which is kind of funny. Most people don't even know that. You can still get hit easily, though. And we got one more boss in the refights, which is Blast Hornet, best stage in Extreme 2, because it's all unique. And here we go. So we can go through here. This is the ending thing. Time is going to come up very soon for the relay. Just go through here, and using Fuel Crush on these are really effective for whatever reason. That's quite a long name, Noah. Thank you for following, though. Alright, so we have Sigma here. So weirdest thing about Sigma is that he's weak to the air dash slash, which no other enemy is weak to. So if I press A, do an air dash, and press B at the same time, he's weak to it. Also, huge flashing lights warning here. This boss flashes lights constantly. Yeah, so we actually need to defeat Sigma using the air dash slash, all but when he's weak. So it's gonna take 4 shots here. I have Ultimate Buster equipped, which is the charge shot. The charge shot is what he's weak to in this mech form, and so I need to use the charge shot, but the only way I can do that is by Ultimate Buster since I have the thing disabled. Once here, switch to 0 and use the air dash slash. And then shoot again is X. If it goes pink, that means it's weak to 0, so let's see what we get in terms of patterns. I think it's gonna swatch. Oh no, didn't. It's my bad. Preemptively judging what Sigma's gonna do. Okay, and there we go, that's time. That is Mega Man Xtreme 1 and 2, 100% Extreme Mode, done! That was pretty good. Both of those were less than a minute off my PBs, despite some of the pretty big errors, so... yeah, that was pretty fun. For those of you, yeah, so if you're ever interested in learning a Mega Man X game, or learning the Extreme games even, you can go to the Mega Man X Discord server, which is available on megamanleaderboards.net, I believe. I forget the ending thing there, but basically, yeah, Mega Man Xtreme and Xtreme 2 are wonderful games. Really fast-paced, really action-packed, and there's a lot to them that I think a lot of people don't understand or see from the outside, and then once they see it, it's just like, oh wow, this game's fantastic. I've been Focusite. If you are ever interested in, you know, seeing what I'm like or where I am, I obviously am on Twitch at twitch.tv/Focusite, spelled as you'd expect, or I'm on Twitter at twitter.com/refocused, spelled with a K. So REFOKUSED. And yeah, that was the Extreme Relay. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope those of you who are looking at this for a marathon submission think that was pretty fun and would be a great addition to your marathon.